These are my Pickems for the round 2 of Swiss stage, so the qualification matches, so the 1-0 teams, who will be deciding as to who makes it to the playoff stage. So let's get right into it. And so as you can see, I went 3-1 in the round 1 matches, and now for the 1-0 games, we're gonna take a look first up at Vitality versus Foot. So for Vitality, I've gone with them banning Fracture. I've kind of been split between Fracture and Ascent on which Vitality are likely to ban. But I don't think it makes much of a difference. I think Foot are gonna pick whichever of the two will be remaining, and I think they would be quite heavy favorites on that map. And even though Vitality didn't ban Fracture versus DRG, so they showed some kind of amount of willingness to either play that map or to at least let it float. I don't think that they have necessarily prepped a lot on that map, so I would favor Foot on whichever of the two, in this case Ascent. And for Foot's map ban, I've gone with them banning Pearl. I think it's clearly the worst map, so it makes sense to get rid of that. And I think Vitality are gonna pick Breeze, which is probably their best map. It's at least their most played. So yeah, that should be a win for Vitality. And then in the second rotation of map bans, I've gone with Vitality banning Haven, since it's in my opinion the worst out of the remaining ones, and with Foot banning Split for the same reason, because it's their own worst out of the remaining, which would leave Lotus as the deciding map, and I would favor Vitality on that map, not by that much, but yeah, at least decently. So I think it's going to be a 2-1 for Vitality over Foot, and I think even with like a couple of map bans maybe going a bit different, or some map picks going a bit different, I would overall think Vitality are likely gonna win 2-1 versus Foot. And so let's lock that on in, and then we're gonna take a look at the second match, which will be NRG versus Lev. And for this match, we kind of have a similar situation with Lev. I think their Lotus, with Lotus being their permaban, I think they're likely to ban it since it's at least a good map for NRG. But they did show their willingness to float that map as they did versus GE. Didn't get picked obviously, but still, yeah, it showed that they are willing to let it float and not permaban it outright. And I think it will make a ton of sense to ban Breeze, since it's one of NRG's best maps, and it's a horrible map for Lev. Like they've got clapped every time they picked it, or not they picked it, it was picked against them. But regardless, I think that would be a great option, and maybe they've prepped something on Lotus at least. So I'd be so happy to see that, but I feel like Lev are probably just gonna ban Lotus, and yeah, I think in that case NRG happily picks Breeze, and they are very, very likely to win on the map. I'd be so surprised if it happens to go to Lev. But then for NRG's map ban, I've gone with them banning Ascent, since they only played it once and lost, and Lev has looked quite good on that map. I could see them also banning Split, since it's a bad map for them themselves and a great map for Lev. And yeah, I think regardless of which they are gonna ban, Lev are gonna pick the other, and I think Lev are gonna win the other. So yeah, I see them going 1-1 in their respective map picks. And then for the second rotation of map bans, I think Lev are 100% gonna ban Haven, since it's NRG's best map out of the remaining ones. You really don't want to go up against NRG's Haven, I don't think. And I hope Lev are well aware of that. And then for NRG, I've gone with them banning Pearl and it going to Fracture, even though I could see them choosing to go for Pearl as the deciding map, since they've looked really good on that map themselves and they've played it a ton. I think Lev's Fracture hasn't looked that great versus GE, and I think there are clear things on what you can punish them on. And Energy has been 3-0 on Fracture thus far, so because of that, I think just in this matchup, Fracture is probably a slightly better choice than Pearl, but I wouldn't be surprised if Pearl ends up being the remaining map. And I would favor Energy on both maps actually, but I think like I would probably give Energy like 5 percentage points more on Fracture compared to Pearl, which is quite a lot. So yeah, I think Energy are probably gonna beat Left 2-1, regardless of what the deciding map is gonna be. And so I'm gonna add that one in as well, and I'm gonna save. And yeah, tomorrow there will be the video with the 1-0 matches, so the other round 2 matches. And yeah, with Vitality and Energy winning this, I would still be on to get my Swiss stage overall picks correct. Only if Foot wins versus Vitality, they will for sure not work out, but yeah, I don't have that much hope in it after all, since Full Sense didn't look great versus Foot, but maybe it can still happen. And let me know in the comments with which of these two picks do you agree, which do you see going differently, and then I'm gonna see you tomorrow for the 0-1 matches.